Oh, this is demonic. This is clearly demonic.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm in the files for not going. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to meet with me.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad?
Joe just dropped a bombshell, claiming he was invited to Epstein's island multiple times, and turned it down every single time. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. Sources allege that because he came this close to being pulled into that circle, he stumbled upon some deeply dangerous secrets. And now, he's reportedly sending out a warning that Beyonce could be the next name set to be exposed, right alongside Epstein, Diddy, and Jay Z.
Evidence that they're talking about
in pretty obscene ways.
Horrifying ways. So that was the thing that, like, even when I talked to Mike Benz about that, he was sort of incredulous about that. It's like, I don't think they would use and it just doesn't make any sense if they got caught, but it just seems like
if Mike Benz was incredulous,
I know.
That's pretty big.
Over the years, Joe has built his career and platform on credibility, uncensored interviews where controversial topics are put on the table, real questions, reputable guests, and honest opinions. They tried to shut him down for years, but it never worked. So when a former Hollywood director came on his platform to speak about sacrifices and the alleged involvement of a high-profile female celebrity, it didn't take long for the public to point the finger at Beyonce. Year after year, she manages to stay at the top, dominating the spotlight, the music charts, and Grammy nominations. And according to word on the street, that kind of consistency feels unnatural to some. Behind the scenes, there's reportedly a lot more to the fortune, the fame, and the fiercely loyal fanbase. Jaguar has spoken about it in past interviews, whispers that Beyonce was part of a cabal, an alleged coven of witches where she called all the shots and no one could stand in her way. Which is why, like clockwork, whenever celebrities step onto that BET stage, that MTV stage, or the Oscars, they always seem compelled to shower Beyonce with words of gratitude and admiration for their awards, as if she personally paved the way for every single one of them.
You ain't talk about the producers. You didn't talk about the writers. You didn't talk about the team that helped you get there. Your whole speech was about how great Beyonce is.
Even artists like Mary J., who had been in the industry long before Beyonce ever stepped on the scene, couldn't skip paying tribute to her after receiving an award.
So the way the world is now, I think people think icons are born that way.
That's a bit unusual, isn't it? It's like a professor thanking a grad student for their academic recognition, or a master craftsman crediting an apprentice for their Lifetime Achievement Award. Traditionally, gratitude flows upward, toward mentors and pioneers. Yet in this strange cultural moment, the hierarchy almost feels reversed whenever Beyonce is in the room. Veterans, newcomers, and even legends suddenly speak as though she represents the entire industry's gold standard. Lizzo took it to a whole new level when she broke down in tears on stage after receiving an award, saying she felt guilty because Beyonce deserved it more.
Where you at, Beyonce? My eyes are wet. You changed my life. You sang that gospel medley, and the way you made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music. So thank you so much.
That moment didn't just feel like admiration. To many viewers watching from home, it felt like collective guilt, almost as if artists believe that winning in front of Beyonce requires an apology first. Social media erupted with debates questioning why Lizzo felt obligated to downplay her own achievement just to lift Beyonce up. Most people saw it as proof that Beyonce has become an untouchable benchmark, one that no one feels comfortable publicly surpassing. Her fans, however, saw it differently. They called it humility, saying Lizzo was simply showing respect to the icon who laid the groundwork for black female artists like her. But then Adele did this.
The best of my life is Beyonce, and this album for me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental. Beyonce, it was so monumental.
What can't be seen in that clip, though, is that yes, Adele broke her Album of the Year Grammy in half, apparently to give to Beyonce, in a scene reminiscent of Mean Girls.
She broke her award in half, handing one piece to Beyonce, simply because her album had beaten Lemonade for Album of the Year. That moment ignited heated debate online, with discussions rapidly spiraling about whether these artists were genuinely expressing admiration or unknowingly participating in some kind of cultural ritual with Beyonce at the center as the undisputed queen. But it gets worse, because Britney was pulled into this as well.
It means so much to me, especially on the night before Michael Jackson's birthday. He had such a huge influence on me, Gaga, and our next performer, Beyonce.
An icon who rose to fame long before Beyonce's time, with decades of influence and global recognition, still referenced her in ways that framed her as the ultimate measuring stick for greatness. And who could forget the moment Taylor won an award in a category Beyonce had been nominated for, only for Kanye to jump on stage and snatch the spotlight away from Taylor, redirecting it straight to Beyonce.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Rumor had it that he did it to protect Taylor, knowing she would face serious backlash for winning over Beyonce without acknowledging her in the speech, as had become almost customary. Since then, audiences have grown hyper-aware of the pattern. Whenever someone wins in a category where Beyonce is nominated, viewers almost anticipate the acceptance speech turning into a tribute to her. And according to Jaguar, it's all part of a much bigger pattern, one so deeply interwoven into a plot that we've barely even begun to scratch the surface. Over the years, Jaguar hasn't been the only one claiming that Beyonce is allegedly the queen of an occult ring. Remember when a self-proclaimed witch who goes by the name Lady Satan came on Tasha K's platform to speak about the very same thing?
The color, I remember Beyonce's video visual that she did.
Yellow. She did Oshun. Riches and beauty and love, all those things, yes.
And she put it in a video.
Yeah.
Was she supposed to film that?
No, that's fine. First of all, Oshun loves that.
Okay.
You have to have parties for her. You have to be beautiful in her day, like how she had that dress and that, what is that thing on her head? It's like a tiara, but it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, she loves those things. She loves everything pretty and girly. And riches. So Beyonce.
What is it? I hear so much about it. What is it though?
She's crowned Oshun, and so Oshun signifies everything that I just noted. So basically, she has these parties and gives her offerings and things like that for her blessing.
Is that what the fruit is?
Yeah, that's what the fruit is.
Then there's Stunna 4 Vegas, a young artist who was once signed under DaBaby. In an interview, he explicitly claimed that Beyonce is a priestess who worships a god known as Ea, and that she is the daughter of another deity called Asen, both of whom are deeply rooted in West African religion and culture. According to Stunna, that's precisely where Beyonce's ancestry traces back to.
A lot of people practice it like Senorita or somebody.
Beyonce.
Some people do. Beyonce practice DeFi. She a child of Ocean. She a child of Ocean. She got songs. She got songs like talking about her ancestor. Every time she dressed up like her ancestor. When she was pregnant, she dressed up as Oshun.
At one point, Beyonce's former drummer of 5 years, Kimberly Thompson, publicly accused her of witchcraft and even filed for a restraining order against her. According to Kimberly, Beyonce had been practicing extreme acts of witchcraft, casting spells and performing dark rituals.
I don't want anything, and I really want to make that clear. I want nothing to do with this person. This was not to up my career. This was not to jumpstart my drumsticks, my CDs, my music, my label. I don't want anything to do with this. If you even offered me money, if anybody was offering money for interviews, I would not take it. I don't want anything to do with this person. I want it dead. And it's even as far as me taking the legal matter and taking steps into putting it on writing and saying it, literally, that I don't want anything to do with this entire situation.
While nothing was ever officially confirmed, it didn't stop the whispers from getting louder, because in Hollywood, allegations rarely die. They evolve, they mutate, they circle back years later wearing a new face but carrying the same story. One person says something and it gets dismissed. 2 people repeat it and it becomes gossip. But when the same name keeps surfacing across interviews, podcasts, lawsuits, and late-night conspiracy threads, all pointing to the same headline, audiences start asking uncomfortable questions. Not because proof exists, but because the pattern begins to feel impossible to ignore. Joe allegedly hinted that there are powerful figures in entertainment whose influence stretches far beyond music, awards, or public image. According to online speculation, he suggested that certain celebrities operate within elite circles that the average fan would never fully comprehend. Speculation is running wild. Rumors are hardening into perceived facts. And when the same name keeps coming up, one can only wonder what's really happening behind closed doors. The following are comments from people who are reading between the lines, noticing the pattern, and speaking up about it. One person wrote, "I've noticed that every female artist who wins over Beyonce accepts their award, but never without praising her first." Victoria Monet did this very same thing at the 2024 BET Awards, almost as if it were mandatory. Another commenter agreed, adding, "They have to honor her because she's allegedly the coven leader." And finally, Beyonce's aura is actually very dark. It makes me uncomfortable even through my screen. We want to know what you think. Do you believe the hype, that Beyonce's success and ever-growing influence in the music industry could be tied to something far more sinister happening behind the scenes? Why does this pattern keep repeating itself? Who are the people making these claims, and what happens when the truth finally comes to light? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you watch the next video, because it's just as wild.